Hello, TCI family, Jonathan's Refuge, and all of our faithful followers around the globe. Welcome to the spiritual gathering tonight. We appreciate you. We value you. We love you. The last few weeks have been exciting around our organization and our different outings that we've been doing, from adventures into the mountains to new people that are old family members of mine, reconnecting with me, welcoming one of my old friends, but a new friend to our organization, my dear friend Alan. God bless you, Alan. He'll be at Jonathan's Refuge tonight watching this, and we love him very much and his family. His brother Curtis. What's up, Curtis? Coming to you down there from Alabama. All right, man. Go Crimson Tide down in Alabama. Okay, let's get into the message. Let's jump right in. Gentleness. The last few weeks, we've been talking about the fruits of the Spirit as I've been assembling them and walking through them and sharing with you the different fruits of the Spirit in all faiths. We're an inclusive organization, so we believe that Christianity, Muslim, the Islamic beliefs, the Hindu beliefs, that they are all the same. They're all coming from the same God. We have just over the centuries and millennia have created different faiths pertaining to how we see God. And so the Christian faith and the Muslim faith and all of these different things, but they all have the fruits of the Spirit in their organizational spiritual texts. Tonight, I'm going to be speaking out of the Bible specifically, and we're going to be talking about a fruit called gentleness. And why do we need gentleness? And I'm going to read to you the first scripture, and we'll discuss it. It comes from the New Testament of the Bible, and the book is called 1 Peter, the chapters 3 and the verses 4. It says, "But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious." Now, what is that talking about? Because in my early days when I was a wild man, and I know what you're saying. You were a wild man? You were a wild person? Are you serious? I never could have seen it. I know. But there was a day when I was wild. And the church folk used to come up and tell me that scripture. They'd be like, and the Bible says that God's sight that a gentle spirit, not a wild spirit. That's not what that's talking about. It's talking about in a specific situation, in a specific moment. And specifically what it's talking about is prayer, meditation, and being open to God. You see, in your gentleness, we quiet ourselves. We calm ourselves. It's a moment where you take a breath. Do it right now. Take a deep breath. Smile. Let it out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Man, I sure wished I would have brushed my teeth before I came to church. No, I'm kidding. You calmed yourself. You meditated. You laughed. We even told a little joke. And your mind is a little more receptive to hearing from the deity. You see, the universe speaks to us at all times. My dear friend Alan was on an expedition with us. Alan stepped off a cliff, helping another man on the expedition with no hands get down a cliff. Me and Alan were working together with Brian to get this guy down this cliff. And Alan, when we got done, just stepped back. Foot goes whoop, right off the cliff. Now, luckily, he didn't die. There were some branches that helped. And then Brian came to the rescue very fast as we were all scrambling to make Alan's priority, safety, our priority. One of the things that I do in those moments is you don't panic. You get gentle. You become gentle. It doesn't mean you can't yell, "Brian, we got to get to him quick." Or Brian's like, "JB, we got to do that." That's not what I'm talking. You can still raise your voice and get loud and be, boisterous. But inside, you calm yourself. When everything starts to become chaos around me, this week was a very chaotic week. I had a report that needed to be completed by the 20th for my board. And the accountants have really done some things not so good. And I got to relabel a bunch of things and go in there and do a lot of work that I don't want to deal with all of my team and my outside teams that we hired to do this stuff. And so it was chaotic. And the more stuff that was happening and the more chaos that was going around, I had to gentle myself. I finally had to take a break and say, okay, here's what we're doing. And as the leader, I have to stop. Everyone's now getting worked up. Everyone's now getting affected. Hold it. The buck stops right here. I'm the leader. I need to gentle myself inside. All right, man. Tell my executive, I love you, brother. Let's call it quits. We're good for the day. Let's go home. Take off. Get out of here. Clear your head. Take the day off the next day. We took it off. Same thing to my other staff. Let's take and throw us off. I'm going to let the board know you're not getting the report. Don't hate me. You'll get it when you can. Okay. I still got another 4 weeks to have it done legally by, but I like to get it to them a month in advance. What's my point? I had to gentle myself. I had to gentle, calm. See, when you become gentle yourself. I know that doesn't sound like a proper wording of it, and it's not. That's me. That's JB language. But when you can gentle yourself and quiet yourself, when you can become humble and calm and non-threatening. See, the word gentleness is defined by a bunch of words, but humble, calm, and non-threatening are the most commonly used. And in this moment, you're trying to be humble and calm and let God speak to you in your prayers or your meditations as you sit and do an exercise, or like me, when I meditate every day when I walk. That's a meditation time for me. I don't speak. I clear the mechanism, right? I clear it. There's nothing in there. And it's God. I just allow God to speak to me and to speak into my ears and whisper into my heart and in my soul. And it's important to do that. We have to be gentle, calm. Next verse, Galatians 6:1. Brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are strong spiritual leaders should restore him or her in a spirit of gentleness. But keep watch for yourself, because you could be tempted too. First word is transgressions. Let's divulge there for a second, jump into it kind of. Transgressions, it's like a sin, a bad act. Someone got drunk. Your best friend is an alcoholic, and he got drunk. That would be a transgression. And so your job as the strong spiritual leader, they're saying, is we have to help our fellow man rise from their fall. See, why do we fall? We fall because, well, we didn't know where we were going. We took the wrong step. We didn't listen to right advice. We didn't see something happening. We fall for many reasons. But the key in the falling is this: we get back up. See, why do we fall? To get back up. So when you fall, it's about getting back up, learning why you fell and how never to fall like that again. I promise you that my friend Alan will never go on a mountain again and be close to the edge like that and ever stand up and step back without first looking. It's something that I now do because I walked right off a cliff once too. And now, to this day, I do not walk without first staring at where I'm walking. And so what's my point there is that we're helping our fellow man rise up from that situation where Alan stepped off a cliff. And how do he fell in essence, right? He slipped up, he messed up, he took a step in a direction without looking, bad mistake, right? A transgression. Transgression doesn't mean it's an evil act, by the way. Everyone always has to be evil. Yes, most of the time they are, right? A guy got drunk, he got high, he cheated on his wife or her, the husband, all these different things. Yes, those are all transgressions too. But making mistakes, simple mistakes, running a red light on, and not paying attention, speeding and not paying attention to your speed. Those are all transgressions, small accidents, small little things. Yes. But those transgressions, it's the job of someone who is that person who is spiritually strong to be humble in this area. See, when my friends call and they're like, Rev, I messed up, man. I got high, or, oh, Rev, I can't believe it. I threw my sobriety away for this. I could be like, I told you so. I told you if you were to go down to that city and move there, that would happen. You didn't listen. That's not what you do. You humble yourself. Because that could have been you. Now, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not an addict. I don't have an addictive bone well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm kind of addicted to mountains. Kind of addicted to my wife. Don't tell her. She might really think I like her a lot. I'm trying to keep it a secret. Oops. All right. Sorry, honey. I think you're watching this. But you see, it's the gentleness. It's in that humility that I can then help another person, because someday I'm going to need their help. You see, my boss, Keith Baker, once told me, JB, I asked him, why do you treat all these guys below you so nice? I mean, you go way beyond being nice. And he said, because I've been around the block, son. And I know that this project, the average projects only last 1 to 2 years and they sell out, the good ones. And then the resort's sold. So you got to kind of move on. Some of the resorts, you might get 3 or 4 years there. But if you're one of the big shots, you're usually only there 1 to 2 years, and then you're on to another big project. Maybe it might last 3 or 4, but mostly it's 1 and 2s. So he treated them like gold because he realized every 1 or 2 years there was project closes. No, everyone's shooting off to find the next big thing, and you're using that project that you were working on. And so you try to get the next job up and a higher commission and maybe become the big dog yourself. And then now you're the GM of the shop. So you get to hire your old GM as one of your sales directors. And he said, and if you treated them right, they're going to call you because they know you treated them right, and it's going to be reciprocated. And now you guys are always following each other, and whoever gets the job, you just bring the crew. And that's how you did it in my industry. And that's how I never had to apply for one job in my entire career. I did not have to apply for a job. They came to me and they just said, let's make money together. We did. And everyone just followed as a group and rose together. And so when you can do that, there's this thing inside of us as fellow man, as we're trying to rise as a group. And when you get into being humble and remembering that you too can fall, because I fell many times, my career, my marriage previously, my businesses, being a father, being all kinds of things. I fall all the time. The goal is to be around people. So when you do make your mistakes, your transgression, that you'll be humble enough to ask for help. And the person you're asking is humble enough to recognize that he should help you, but be cautious. And being cautious means you don't get taken advantage of. So just because, like, as an example, a person who took advantage of me and my family and my wife and our companies and our church and everything, would someone asked me, would I ever let them back and help them again? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean I'm going to let them back into my life and give them access to my bank accounts again and things like that. Nope. That part's gone. You know what I mean? Could it ever be earned back? I guess someday it could. It would take years of working to get that kind of a relationship back again. But absolutely, you can always protect yourself, and don't ever allow yourself to be harmed. Okay, in that respect. But being kind and humble and realizing people make mistakes, it's a huge part of understanding that gentleness. And we need to learn to be gentle in ourselves and with others. But with ourselves, don't forget that. We skip over that part. Let's be gentle to everyone else. I take a lot on my shoulders. I mean, if you know me, you know I always say I can take the weight of the world, and it usually seems like I can. My assistant, executive assistant, my partner, my wife, first lady of TCI, Miss Cece, she'll tell you it hurts sometimes. There's a lot of pain and suffering that comes with this work that we do, and sometimes I need someone to lift me up. And as a acting archbishop of this organization, I'm blessed to have great bishops. And so when I need that moment of that feeling of someone uplifting me, I can call on my bishops and say, "Hey, I need to come over for the weekend. Do you mind?" Luckily, one of them is my a family member, and a very precious son, and has grandbabies, and the other one has grandpuppy. And so I get to spend time with people that I not only love and respect, but are part of our organization and are very intelligent and gentle, calm, humble, and all of those things. So when I need that help, they can help me. Now let's get into the last part of it. It's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. That's the book of Ephesians in the New Testament of the Bible. Chapter 4, verse 32. It says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another. Forgive each other, just as God forgave you." And I love this one because I think it's a great one to end with. Hear the words. We must be kind, which kind was one of the fruits of the Spirit we talked about in the very beginning. Kindness and how to win by being kind. We talked about that. Compassionate, that does fall under that. So we got to be kind. We got to be compassionate to one another. Are you compassionate to everybody? There's people I don't like, but I'm compassionate to them. Doesn't mean I'll tolerate their BS forever, but I will have compassion and be kind. Forgiving each other. Man, I tell you what, I mess up all the time. I'm as messed up as a soup sandwich, folks. So make no mistake, I'll be the first one to forgive people, because Well, people forgave me. I was an evil man. I broke legs with baseball bats. I was a man who earned the title, the Irish Beast. And I was proud at the time because I was defending and protecting this child who became a man and then became a beast at a young age before he even was physically a man, as a teenage child. So this child grew into this monster, and this monster hurt people. And now this monster wanted to find its way back to society, find its way back to love. And through an adopted mom, and many years did so. And to this day, I now spend my life making as much money as I can for companies that I am involved in, and then giving it all the way to the people and organizations that I believe and support in. And in the process, trying to change lives one person at a time. Now, that's how I use this verse. See, I took and I'm kind and compassionate to my fellow man. I'm forgiving to everyone because I know I'm going to mess up and need your forgiveness. I can tell you that right now. Go drive with me. Go ask Ty. Ty was in the car today with me. Ty's like, oh my God, he's crazy. Okay, maybe it wasn't that bad, Ty. But the point was, we all have our weaknesses. So forgiveness is important. And so remember, God forgave us. It said forgave, not forgives. It forgave, which means all of our sins have been forgiven. Sin just means you missed the mark. I was aiming to be perfect at something and I missed it a little. That's called a sin. That's literally what the word sin means. So whenever you hear someone say sin and go no more, that just means stop missing the mark, knucklehead. It's not a bad word. People get all, don't you talk about sin? I'm no sinner. Yeah, you are. We all are. It just means we all missed the mark. Today I called somebody an idiot. We'll leave it at that. And I called him an idiot. A really big idiot. And I might have said it about 10 times. Now, that's not kind, and that is not compassionate. And to be honest with you, I should have forgave the guy, and I didn't even do that. So I failed today, which is why, going back to the verse where it says, if anyone is around, you can help restore me. One of my own guys was like, hey, boss, maybe we should be compassionate. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear that, Ty. Work on it. It's a work in progress. I'm 48 years old. I just had my birthday. Thank you for all of you church members that sent emails and texts and phone calls and gifts. And I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Your love and appreciation, mostly your prayers and your support. As I end this, I'm going to ask for you to be kind and compassionate to our organization. Grace Connection Services, Jonathan's Refuge, TCI, the Church of Inclusion, are a growing nonprofits that I am involved in as the founders and as the chairman, president, and CEO of one of them. And so these organizations, they have real live people, flesh and blood in them. And you guys have met a lot of them. And I need more help. We've got one man right now in our organization who is fresh out of 14 and a half years out of prison. And is a very dear friend of mine. I did time with that guy. And he's never driven a car, never had a driver's license. So we got to teach him how to drive. And I'm going to do it. I've done it for all my guys. But I need help. I need people to say, you know what, Bishop, don't you worry, man. You go off and tackle this stuff that you do. Get to the Senate and get down there to Olympia and work with all the stuff that you guys are doing and the programs and getting our $1 million property that we're getting next year, folks. There's a lot going on there where we're going to change the entire homeless population and change the way we do prison release programs. And so maybe you can come in and say, why don't you let me help teach people to drive? And I can volunteer 2 hours a week. Absolutely. I would love to help do that. And so there's a lot of things that you all can get involved with us by being kind and compassionate. And that is part of being that, having that gentleness in our spirit, that you're a non-threatening. You're saying, look, you know what? I can do better. Maybe I don't need to watch that stupid show I watch 5 days a week. Maybe one of those nights I can put it on and not watch it, okay? I don't need to watch 5 nights of the same show. It'll be there. I promise you, there'll be a video on one of these programs on the internet that you can watch it over and over again someday. But what's more important when you're dead? That you watched a program, that you got your petty Manny, Well, go get your petty manny, but take someone with you that can't afford to do it. You don't think men want petty mannies? Let me tell you, ladies, I get petty mannies with my wife all the time. Fellas, if you're not doing that with your partner, you're an idiot. It's great. It feels wonderful. Now, I'm not telling you to go get a petty manny. I'm saying that just do stuff and bring people with you. And there's so many ways to reach out to our organization to help. We have got hundreds of clients and hundreds of men and women who could use mentors like you, who would like to reach out and be gentle in spirit, that gentleness, and they want to be humble and kind and help others and be compassionate and be forgiving. So if that's you, come on, reach out to us. Let us know. Coexist this week. Let's live positive, but let's do so in a gentle spirit. I love you guys. God bless. Thanks for being with us this week.